Okay, I'm going to let you in on a little secret. I'm really, really nervous. I mean, this is scary, you know. Hi guys, and welcome to Organized ADHD Chaos. I'm Cindy, and I have ADHD. I'll tell you something though, the longer we talk here, the more obvious that'll become, I'm sure. But what I'm doing here is I wanted to start this channel to share my experience. I was diagnosed with ADHD as an adult, and used to be that was unheard of. They thought that everybody outgrew ADHD by the time they became an adult. So you never thought that somebody would go through childhood and all their school years and you wouldn't even know that they had ADHD. That was thought to be impossible because kids with ADHD, they're little boys who run around all hyperactive, climbing the walls, swinging from the chandeliers, and that wasn't me. I had the more inattentive type of ADHD. I was that girl sitting in the back of the room, looking out the window, daydreaming. And then I became that adult, looking out the window, daydreaming, who could go an entire day with things in front of her that needed to be done and not even realize that they were there. So basically, like I said, I'm here to share my story in the hopes that I can help others who might be going through the same thing. Because it turns out that adult women are among the fastest growing group being diagnosed with ADHD. Many for the same reasons that I didn't get diagnosed when I was younger. The inattentive type of ADHD is not noticed as much. You know, the squeaky wheel gets the grease, and the hyperactive children can be quite squeaky. So they're going to get noticed and sent to experts and diagnosed when they're fairly young. Whereas those of us who are inattentive, if we can still get by in school, they might not notice us as much. We'll get report cards home saying things like, needs to apply herself, and daydreams too much, and talks too much with her neighbor. And no, those things were never written on my report cards. Okay, yeah, they were. I could go through my entire school years, and that's mostly what was written on my report card. Doesn't apply herself. And our grades, well, I don't know about everybody else, but my grades would jump up and down, and there was no rhyme or reason to it. You know, I could get a C or a D in math one year, and the next year get an A in math, which that doesn't really make much sense. You know, math gets harder as you go along, and what am I doing getting an A in it when I got a C or a D last year? But that's the way it was. It just all depended on how my mind was working in that moment. I plan to experiment with various video styles, especially at first. There will be some videos where I'm sitting and talking and telling stories or giving information because I've been doing a lot of research about ADHD and about other mental illnesses. And I will share the information that I come across with you. There will be things linked in the comment section. I will also do some vlogging where basically whatever I'm doing that day, I'll be taking you with me and talking then. And then we'll do some fun stuff with videos. I like to make little videos, so every once in a while there might be one of those, you know, nestled inside a video. And I might do some tutorials because among other things, I enjoy art and other crafts. So I might be sharing that information with you too if you would like to see that. The reason I wanted to do this channel, like I said, women are among the fastest growing group of people being diagnosed with ADHD. And when I went looking for information, I wanted stories from women who also were diagnosed as adults. And there wasn't a lot out there. And, part of the reason, I'm not sure, maybe because a lot of women who have ADHD still haven't been diagnosed, or, I grew up in a generation where we're not used to sharing everything that we do online. And so a lot of my friends are uncomfortable with that. But, if you're like me, you like to see stories from people who are going through what you're going through, which is why I wanted to put that on there, or put this out there. My whole life, all I've ever wanted to do was to help people. And I didn't do much as far as a career goes. And I'll get into that in another video, my college story and employment stories, stuff like that. But I always, tried to look for jobs where I could truly help people. And, then I wound up having kids and I was out of the workforce. And now I really want to help people. That's why I'm doing this. And I think it'll help me too, just to talk about it. Talking about it always helps. And I'm not saying that there aren't some great videos out there for people with ADHD, by people with ADHD. I've come across some really wonderful ones, and I will share those with you as well. So how my ADHD has affected me. Like I said, I grew up not applying myself. Every year there was that criticism, you can do better, why aren't you doing better? And it does really affect a person's self-esteem. And, growing up, when I was 15, I was diagnosed with depression. And there was a lot of anxiety mixed in as well. And now as an adult, looking back, I truly believe that a lot of it does stem from the ADHD. Every time in my life that I've had a major anxiety issue or a major depressive episode, and there have been many, I can look back on it and say, I think I know what brought that on. It was the feeling of overwhelm. I was completely overwhelmed with whatever was going on in my life at that time. And that feeling of being overwhelmed, a lot of it came from the inattention, the fact that I couldn't seem to get it together to do anything right, which is the way it felt. And I don't know. I do truly believe that the depression and anxiety were, for me, secondary to the ADHD. And, for others that might not be the case, because I do know that both depression and anxiety can cause attention issues. But even during the times that my depression and anxiety were barely even there, I still had trouble with inattention, always. That's something that's been with me since I can remember. So that's a little condensed version of my story. But like I said, I really want to help people. I want to get my story out there. That way, if there's somebody out there who's struggling, you can see that you're not alone. There are other people struggling. And there are people who care, who want to help you to improve your life, improve how you feel. So, on that note, I plan to have new videos up every Wednesday. That's the goal. And I also blog on Blogspot. I also blog on Blogspot, same name, Organized ADHD Chaos at blogspot.com. And I am on Facebook and on Twitter. Same name on both of those. So, Okay, I'm going to let you in on a little secret. I'm really, really nervous. I mean, this is scary, you know, putting myself out there to where I could be judged harshly. Now, I am very much open to suggestions, but yeah, I'm nervous. But like I said, I feel like this is important to get the word out about ADHD, and also it's important for me, for my own well-being, to share my story. All right, so here's the plan. On a typical week, I will be uploading a new video on Wednesday. This week, the launch of this channel, I have 3 videos to share. Today is the first one, and then my second video is going to be a vlog style video. And then my third video is just going to be, I don't know, it's going to be more fun. We're just going to talk about fun stuff, just you know, just enjoyable things. So anyway, the 3 will upload on the same day, and then after that, it'll be every Wednesday. Now, I want to leave you with a closing thought, and this is something I will say over and over again. You know, life is hard. It's tough out there. The world can be a very tough place. But if we're all just a little bit kinder to each other, we can really change things. And if we're kinder to ourselves, we can completely change our own lives. So that's the thought I want to leave you with, to please be kind to yourself and to others. If you like this video, please click like. If you'd like to see more, please click subscribe, and then you'll be notified when I upload new videos. Have a great week, and I'll see you next time.